a Canadian radio sanctuary podcast.
Polygram recording artist Martha Johnson of Martha and the Muffins.
Needless to say, you were all keeping busy.
Yes.
I really like, sincerely, This Is the Ice Age. In fact, I think it's my favorite of the three that you put out.
Oh, I'm glad. Well, I think it's our favorite, too.
Yeah?
For different reasons. There was sort of a thrill of doing the first one, and the second one wasn't as well received, and I think we reflected back on it as seeing some mistakes being made on it, and this one, I mean, it's just all around, especially from the production end of it, because we co-produced it ourselves. We're really happy with the result.
I think my two favorite tracks, although it's hard to pick any one really, but I like This Is the Ice Age. I love You Sold the Cottage. Now, you wrote 300 Years and One Day in Paris, right?
Right.
Tell us about One Day in Paris. What is it really all about?
It was written shortly after we had finished the European tour, spring of, I guess it was 80. No, 79. I can't remember when it was. It's all kind of confusing. Anyways, we just finished the European tour, and we had one day in Paris, and as I'm sure everybody's familiar with, bands on the road don't get much time to see anything. Now, I happened to be in a very depressed kind of mood at that time when we were in Paris. I'd never been there before, and the thought of wasting a day because I was in this crummy mood was something that inspired me to writing a song. I think it's something that a lot of people probably felt. You're given an opportunity for something and you're really not into it. That's about really what the song is about. I wrote very sincerely. Yeah. It's something that I think is quite different from anything else on the album. It's not even different from anything the band has ever done before. But it was done with all sincerity.
It is very almost dirge-like. It's very slow. And
yeah, the treatment that we did on production end of it, I think, has made it fit in very well into the album. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the way it turned out.
Walking the streets all alone as my mind starts to label for the reason why such a city with all of its charm can conquer the sadness I'm feeling.
our guest today on the line in Toronto, Martha Johnson of Martha and the Muffins, discussing their third album, just released, This Is the Ice Age. Has your work in England, as far as touring, has that influenced your writing and recording somewhat? The band in general?
I think it's influenced the band in general in that we're more experienced and a little less naive than we probably were at the beginning. Just being exposed to record company kind of business and a lot of press, and it is mature, I think, and I think the maturity is coming through in the music. I don't know how much that's related to the problems that the band has probably gone through in the last year, and having to pretty much support ourselves, not getting a lot of support from people in England and people on the outside. After that second album came out, I think a lot of people doubted our ability. We really had to prove ourselves all over again, and that's what we've been striving for the last year, and just keeping on top of it along with the support of our manager.
What is that on the beginning of the song Swimming, Side One, Cut One? Is that street noises?
Yeah, it's street noise. I happen to be living in an apartment that's right on Yonge Street, which is the main street in Toronto. And the noise on that street is amazing on Friday and Saturday night. All these kids get out there with their ghetto blasters and their car roofs up and screaming and just carrying on. And the noise is so interesting. And so, I don't know, it's just interested in lyrically with Swimming. I taped it one night and I brought it into the studio, and we decided to add it on at the beginning of the album.
Okay, is that Mark singing on that as well with you?
We're singing the lead in Swimming. We also sing the lead in Born Without Filters, which is nice, I think, to have that male voice coming through on an album. I think a lot of people have the impression that this is a very female-oriented band, whereas in actual fact it's quite balanced between male and female. We have a female bass player, Jocelyn, we have one band now. And to keep that balance,
Jocelyn replaced Martha Ladley, about a year ago or more?
She didn't really replace Martha Ladley. She joined the band in January of this year. Our bass player, Carl Finkle, left at Christmas, and she replaced him. We didn't really actually get a replacement for Martha. I still do most of the keyboards. Mark and I do most of the keyboards on this album. Vocally, I suppose Mark has replaced her.
I just have a note here. I just received it the other day that Tim Gane has been replaced by Nick Kent.
Yeah, we just got Nick recently. Tim decided he wanted to try something else, get out of the performing aspect of being in music. I think he's still interested in music and being involved in the music industry in some way, but he wanted to get out of the playing situation. And Nick's working out very well. He's done a few sort of warm-up gigs to the tour, and we're very happy with him.
In the song Women Around the World at Work, Andy really shows off his sax on that. I like that very much.
Yeah. Well, that song is, I think of any of the songs on the album represents the band really well. There's two solos in them, Mark's guitar solos here. And vocally, and just the subject matter is, there's so many songs that you hear these days about nothing at all, really. Just reiterating all the sort of baby I love you kind of things. And it's nice to hear something different on the radio. I hope people will find that anyway. Something that is, some sort of message. Even though it's one that's been said a number of times before, perhaps it's reaching a different audience.
Yeah, well, that's very true. At least you're saying something. And I think performers, not only musically but lyrically, have something to say last much longer than the baby I love you type of...
That's sort of a responsibility to the audience, too, I think, try to say something new, or else say something that's been said before in a new way, so it will hit them and maybe start them thinking about their situation and the situation of other people in the world.
On the song Casualties of Glass, is that one line in there, don't lose hope?
Yeah, that's the line repeated at the end.
There's a message right there.
Yeah. I think that's sort of a phrase that can be taken along with a lot of the things that this band has said before in the past. Often I think people who start on music will have a sort of a pessimistic sound to it, but when you listen to the lyrics, they come out with an optimistic sort of edge to them in the end. And I think it's very representative of the sort of style that runs through all the music in this band.
The songs Women Around the World at Work, This Is the Ice Age, and You Stole the Cottage, they're very danceable songs, aren't they? They're very up-tempo.
Yeah, I think we're getting more into rhythmic sort of music. Have a couple of new songs that we'll be performing on the tour. They're not on the album at all. And it seems to be the direction we're going into. Things that are a bit more spacious with a really good solid rhythm behind it, maybe in a funky or sort of syncopated kind of thing.
When will you be touring again?
We're planning on starting towards the end of October. We're going out to the east coast of Canada, within the Maritimes. We've never been out there before. And then we're going in Toronto and around Ontario. And then hopefully we're going to be coming out west. And that's going to take us to probably the beginning of December.
You recorded at Nimbus 9 in Toronto. And that was when I have a listing May and June of this year?
Yeah, it's spanned over, we went in around the end of, right into July or August. It took about 2 months to do the whole album. Most of the album was actually done at Grand Avenue Studios in Hamilton, which is a studio that our co-producer Danny Millar is part owner of, with his brother Bob. We had done a demo tape there, and we really enjoyed working there and working with Danny, so we decided to do most of the album there.
Grand Avenue is becoming very well known.
Yeah, it has quite a good reputation. A lot of very good people have worked there. Enos worked there, John Hassel. A number of people have worked there, and they get in all sorts of different kinds of artists as well. And Danny's experience is very wide.
Thank you, Martha.
Okay, thanks very much.
Polygram recording artist, Martha Johnson.